Okay guys, today's project, we're going to fit this gear up kit into SYM Jet4R or SYM Red Devil, Jet Basix, Jet SportX. It's compatible with a lot of the other SYMs. There you can see the part number, and just got your two gears here. So what we'll do is go ahead and remove the old parts and fit these new gears. Okay guys, so just to save some time, we've removed all of the bolts on the clutch cover. You can see all the holes there. So now we'll take the clutch cover off and get into the transmission. Okay, so we'll remove the actual clutch plate. It's always good if you've got the relevant tools, have them all set up, ready to go. Just give the belt a squeeze. You just saw the belt squeeze in there. Roll away the pulley and just put a little bolt in there. It's just a little tip just to hold the belt out of place. So that shaft there is one that we need to remove. So at this point, just inside this area here, the diff gear box, that's the part that we need to remove next. So while we're on this side, we're just going to remove the sump plug for the gear oil. Nice and clean. Just let it drain while we get to the other side and pull off the exhaust and the wheel. Okay, so we've moved to the right side of the scooter, and what we're going to do now is take off the exhaust. This has got a performance exhaust on there. First of all, just remove the bolts up at the head. There's two nuts up there, so you have to undo those first, and then come down and just remove the bolts on the side here. Remove the exhaust. So guys, just to save time, we've just pre-loosened some of these bolts. You don't want to watch a 2-hour video. So we'll just get these undone and exhaust. Now we'll move on to the wheel and remove the gearbox. So when you remove the wheel, you just have to raise the fender, pull it off, and next we'll tackle this. Rightio, so we've loosened off and pretty much removed all the bolts holding the diff case. So once the bolts come off on this side, we'll move to the other side and then remove the right half. There we go. So we're looking at our gears that we're going to change, which is in here, and also our shaft, which is this guy here. Just try and keep that gasket set. If it gets damaged, just remove it. So the gear that we're pressing out, put that in place and set it up on the press, and just bring it down until you've just pre-pressed that stud just a little, and we'll get it to press all the way through. Just put your hand underneath. So we've got that one out. Alright, so it's really important just to maintain its position, because we're going to spin it over and press it into the new gear. Okay, so we've got the stud in place. Make sure it's centered on the gear, so when you press it in, it goes straight down. If you get any resistance, you probably want to just take it off and start again. So you can see it's going right down. Make sure it presses flush. There we go. Gear in. Right, so just remember your little washer. Just put that in place first and just hold it while you insert the gear back into place. There we go. Alright, nice. So we need to remove this, the shaft now. So we're just going to put the nut back on, just so it doesn't damage the thread. And we're just going to give it a light tap and just get it coming through the other side. just release the nut again and pull the shaft. Right, so now we've got the Malossi shaft. I'm going to press it back in. Just give it a little bit of a tap, just make sure it's in its correct position. Guys, it's a really good idea while you're in here, just to check the condition of your belt, make sure all your seals are fine, and also just to give the clutch cover a bit of a clean up. Right guys, I'm going to place this, this gear side back on. Just make sure everything's lined up. And you just get a nice tight press. So on this particular scooter, the Jet 4, you can see the diff filling hole there. And it's pretty close to the lower level of the gearbox itself. So it really doesn't take much oil. I think it's around about 100 ml. So it's really important that you've always got good, clean gear oil in the gearbox. So now we just go through and replace all the bolts. And you want to tighten them up, or we always tighten them up, just in odd order. Okay, so when you tighten the diff bolts, you just want to do it in a crisscross pattern. Make sure everything's back in place, nice and firm. If you get the specs to the manual, you'll see what the torque is supposed to be. So I've just tightened up all the bolts that hold the diff housing together. And before we move anywhere else, really important to fill that diff straight away. So if we tighten up the plug down the bottom, and we'll just put 100 ml in here. And while we're finishing off the rest of the bike, if you've got any leaks or anything, we'll be able to spot them immediately. So once we've got the diff full, we'll put the filling plug back in place and move on to the next step. Rightio guys, we've got the diff oil in, and now we're going to put the clutch back together. Just give it a bit of a squeeze so the belt goes in place. Get the bell back on and get your nut back on. Tighten that up, and we're moving a step closer to riding this bad boy. Okay, we'll get that wheel back in place. Just lift up the rear fender, just align it. Get our washer on first, and then the bolt with the nut. Alright guys, we've skipped ahead a little bit, but we've just gone through and put the exhaust back on, just the fittings, and we're just making sure that it's bolted up nice and tight at the head, connection to the cylinder. Okay guys, so we've got the exhaust on, the wheel on, all the clutch and the transmission on. Don't forget to tighten the brake cable back in place. You can adjust it when you're riding. Okay guys, we're almost back to the step that we started. I'm going to put the clutch cover back on. Just go through, tighten up all the bolts, and then get this back on the road. Okay guys, so we've just completed the fit of the Malossi Gear Up Kit into the SYM Jet4R, and pretty much everything's there, all the details that you've needed, and that's just how we do it. We've tried to do it in a way with as minimum tools as possible, so you can have a go at home if you feel up to it. Otherwise, get a professional mechanic to do it for you. It's quite simple, but it's just time consuming. So what we'll do now is take it off the bench and give it a test ride. Thanks for watching.